flat water thing nationwide. So
it did start with surf.
Yeah, it started with because it's a lot more. I mean, it's a lot more aggressive. You can go faster, quicker with the paddle than you can if you're just swimming, I guess, and you're already standing up.
Right.
So I think there's an advantage, and I'm just kind of winging it on that. But it started out as a surfing thing, and a lot of the boards. And if you look downtown, you'll see most of the rental boards that are out there have big round fronts to them, which are surfboards, and they're really stable and a great thing to learn on. But they turn fast, and they're not designed to go straight. So
right.
In the last, certainly in the last 10 years, but in Chattanooga, I've seen it. I started about 6 years ago. When did you start?
About
the same.
Maybe 4 years.
So, I mean, and I got in, we both got into sort of long distance, straight flat water paddling. So skinny boards, it's a little bit more challenging because you have to learn how to balance all over again. So, I mean, you think about it, it's kind of an interesting game. We've spent our whole life balancing on something that doesn't move. So if you lose your balance on one side and you want to on the earth and you want to catch your balance, you have to kind of make that side of your body solid.
Right.
If you do that on a paddleboard, you're going to go in because that side of the board is just going to collapse. So you got to learn how to balance all over again. It's not like something you do mentally. It's like your body has to just learn it.
Exactly.
And that's what it's been kind of hard for a lot of people to catch on because you just have to get out there and do it for a long time. But
only on certain boards, right? Because you can start it on a wider board.
Yeah, but even with a wider board, you got to kind of learn. But anyway, Lindsay has become one of the strongest paddlers, male or female. There's not I don't think there's 10 people in town that are as strong as you are. I mean, she's an amazing distance paddler. I mean, not just distance. I mean, I guess 6 miles is considered distance for some people, but
sounds like a long way.
She does Chattanooga, which is 31-mile race. That's world renowned for sure.
31.2, Randy.
That 0.2 is the killer for sure. It's kind of like the last 6 miles of marathon. So she's a really solid distance
paddler. Tell us, Lindsay, what other outdoor, like what led you to paddleboarding? You said you got invited about 4 years ago?
Yeah, about 4 years ago. Actually, the first time I paddled was on a race board. So I had never even been on a recreational type board before. So, I mean, right off the bat, I was having to get used to the balance. And so I loved it, I mean, right off the bat. But before that, I mean, we were new to town, sort of. We'd only been here for a couple of years. And so just hiking, trail running, trail running, just being outside.
So where are you from?
I'm from Mississippi originally, and then moved to Alabama in high school.
Awesome.
So
how long have you been? You're Chattanooga by choice, like me. I'm from Texas. So how long have you been here?
About 6 years.
Awesome. And Randy's Chattanooga by choice.
Well, how long have you been here?
I've been back for 3. I've lived here like 20 years, but I've left twice to go back to Texas.
No.
But I never wanted to leave any time. It was like family reasons. So I'm back now to stay. And again, Chattanooga by choice, love it here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was great.
We were traveling when we discovered it, and then we discovered hang gliding and ended up staying here for 10 years before we needed to go back to Texas.
So you hang glide?
Yes.
Awesome. I've been one time and I loved it.
You did a tandem?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome. Yes. I'd gotten a tandem for my birthday, and I thought, oh, this will be fun. I never dreamed that I would get interested in it. And I'll never forget that thought of, I can do this. Yeah, I can do this.
So you do it on your own?
Yes. I've had over 100 mountain flights, and I haven't been active for a while, but I'm getting active again, and I'll go ahead and plug my tandem pilot again. Dave Miller, I'm going to do some tandems with him, and he's actually a comedian, and he is at the Comedy Catch this weekend. So y'all be sure and check out Dave Miller. He's there tonight and tomorrow night at the Comedy Catch. So I'm looking forward to checking him out tomorrow. And then he's going to take me for some tandem flights because it's been a while. So I have to I'm still a pilot, but I got to get recertified. I've got the skills. Mm-hmm. But I'll take a couple of tandems. They'll take me to Training Hill so I can pop off some launches.
Why not paraglide?
Well, I'm very plugged into that community, but since I already know how to hang glide, though, I have access to a fixed wing, and it'd just be easier for me to just, because I am a hang glider pilot, so I can jump right back into that.
Sure.
But I'm intrigued by the paragliding
I
as well.
Paraglide a little bit back in Colorado. There's a
Did you really?
really big paragliding school there outside of Boulder.
Well, there's a school here over in Squatchy Valley.
Squatchy Valley's, I mean, nationally renowned. I mean,
Yes.
Same as it's kind of hang glider on Lookout
guys
Mountain.
on here. Exactly.
The paragliding on Sequatchie.
Well, yeah, and they have both, but the Sequatchie group for hang gliding it's more of a club, and the Lookout Mountain group is more of a business. So they're able to put out the tandems in the school. They have I think it's the largest school, or more students come out of Lookout Mountain than any school in the country. I believe that was statistics back in my day when I was.
I think it's still true. Well,
yeah.
Jeff Stiles says it's still true.
There you go. Well, Jeff knows. I've known Jeff for like 30 years. We met through hang gliding.
But he said that Sequatchie's is the better place for.
Well, he lives up there, so he loves it.
Better for paragliding than Lookout Mountain for some reason.
Yes, definitely. It's
stronger winds or something.
It's the launch. I think it's also the launch. They have more of a grassy slope type thing than a drop cliff, because they definitely need that with the paragliding.
So in ultra running, there's a new race. It's probably 3 years old. That the race starts from jumping out of a plane.
Oh my word!
It's a 50K. It's a 50K race.
That look a lot like what?
It's the craziest thing. But you jump out of a plane, and if you don't know how to skydive, then they do a tandem, and as soon as you land, and they got somebody that'll take care of your parachute or whatever. So as soon as you land, you take your chute off, and you run back. You run back to the drop zone. It's typically 30 miles or so.
I did a tandem skydive before, but I prefer hang gliding. The skydive was over way too fast. But to start a race is a great idea. I like it.
It's a crazy idea.
So I have to do that before your next paddling race.
We can combine the two, and we can do some windsurfing in the gorge.
Indeed.
So are you participating in the dam race, or is that what you call it?
The dam challenge.
The dam challenge?
I don't know if Lindsay knows about the dam challenge.
I don't know if I know about it.
I mean, it's a fairly new thing.
Do you swim? Are you a swimmer?
I can stay above water. I mean,
so it's dam to Cloudland Canyon mountain biking 40. I think it's 53 miles. Dam to downtown swimming 7 miles. Dam to dam paddling 42 miles. Dam to the top of Signal Mountain running, which is 29 miles.
Oh my goodness!
I know, but the 42 miles paddling wouldn't be a
problem,
right?
I could have a team, then I'll handle the paddling. My husband swims; he can do the swimming portion.
I'll do the biking.
I'm a fairly good swimmer, but that's
we'll tag team.
There we go. Sure. Yeah, we got a team form.
Awesome. Well, so how are now? I get confused, but you're strictly like hiking, running, or
and paddling.
Okay, that's what I was making sure. So you participate in some of the Wild Trails events?
Yes.
Okay, and are there other like paddling, like does the city, like the convention center? You know, we had Tim Morgan on the show a couple weeks ago. He's the president of the sports committee with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Is there anything nationally done paddling here?
Chattanooga is world renowned. I mean, it's so, and I think that's a problem with the paddling nationwide paddling community. There's only really two that I'm aware of, two ultra distance paddle races. One of them is Hawaii, and it doesn't really count because it's island to island. It's usually downwind, and so it's more surfing than it is paddling. And then Chattanooga. I mean,
what time of year is that? That usually later in the summer.
Chattanooga's end of October.
Yes. Okay, all right. Yeah, I thought it was like
Yeah, so Ben Freeberg, we'll get him on the show. I mean, he is. Last I checked, he's got 3 world records. He's the only person ever to paddle from Cuba to the United States on a stand-up paddleboard. He has the longest number of miles paddled in 24 hours, like 220 miles in 24 hours. And then he and his girlfriend, now wife, are the only ones to do a stand-up paddleboard on the Yukon 1000. I forgot the name of it, but it's a 1,000-mile race on the Yukon River, unsupported. So they did it in a stand-up paddleboard.
I'm familiar with the Freebergs. Yes, they are beasts.
So amazing people.
Do you participate in the Chattanooga?
Yes.
Okay. And so these, you're saying that when did she get the opportunity to? There's the Chattanooga. There's your events. to get your status as?
Well, there's several races. There's the Southern Stoke Series, which is they've actually, I think they have more races this year than normal, but they're all throughout the Southeast. There's a handful.
That's what I was trying. Do you travel around and compete in other
races?
I
don't travel very far. I did Carolina Cup last year, and that's in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina.
So they don't divide it into men and women, or they
do.
They do,
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you're consistently placing high.
Well, in the smaller races, in the Southern Stoke races, I am. But the bigger races, it's just fun to get out there because there's like professional athletes out there, and it's just fun to watch them because they're super strong.
Oh no! When I was hang gliding, I loved it when there were we had national competitions and things here, and when they would come early the 3 days, that I would be right on their heels, just trying to keep up with them as long as I could. Just to challenge yourself and see how you could do. That's great to be able to have access to the pros.
Yeah, I mean,
it's possible.
A race like Carolina Cup, it's in the ocean and it's big water and it's not what I'm used to. And last year I did it's a 6 mile, it's inland, but it's tough water. But seeing these professionals do beach starts, seeing these huge waves, and it's incredible to see.
Oh wow,
they're really strong athletes. And
he said, my view is from the Walnut Street Bridge, watching or down there, from the
that's one of my comfort zones.
Aquarium, watching them carry boards.
I prefer flat water. I mean, downwinding paddle trips are really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we get the wind at your back, and there's white caps, and it's kind of you can kind of surf, on the Tennessee River.
Yes.
And it's just really fun, but it's kind of rare.
Yeah. That's the day I want to, when I try it out, Randy, I want to be on it when we can get me downwind.
Well, we'll get you, we'll just do the basic go around the island thing, which is, that's a good introductory thing. And then, the next trip is probably go on Lookout Mountain or Lookout Creek, where it's calm, always lots of nature, really, so really simple.
To go around the island, where do you put it in at?
Underneath the Market Street Bridge
okay.
at Coolidge Park.
Yeah. Okay, I can handle that.
You're going to love
it. For that.
Yeah.
But we have, that's one thing that Wild Trails is going to do. We've already started. In fact, we're really close to clearing Lookout Creek all the way from Trenton to downtown. And, back in the 40s, I've heard a bunch of stories that there was an organization in town called the Water Scouts that had Lookout Creek cleared. And you could paddle from Trenton to downtown. It's 24 miles or something like that.
Amazing.
So it hasn't been cleared since then. I mean, nobody, a bunch of buddies says, I don't think it ever, it was like the 40s and 50s, whatever. Yeah. So we've been whittling away at it, and it's been a long struggle, but we are about 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles from finishing it. So, and it's a tough gig. You think about, usually chainsaws, and there was a couple big trees over that and we don't take the whole tree out because it's, you want the tree in the water. It's good for the environment, good for the fishes, use it to nest on, lay their eggs and whatnot. So we just kind of clear however we can, just enough for our canoe wide. So it's a lot of kind of slalom back and forth to clear, to get through all these. It's not something you can really go fast at because you have to pay attention. But man, I tell you, the wildlife, the wildlife is just phenomenal, and that's the cool thing that most people don't really get if they're used to sitting down in a canoe or a kayak. When you stand up and you're looking down at the water, you get to see all the water critters and
perspective.
It's a totally different perspective. And the other thing that's just, you don't have any perspective unless you just do it both. But if you're sitting down kayak or canoe, for me at least, I'm good for maybe a couple of hours, maybe, but standing up, it's just so much better for you. It's so low impact, and you can go all day long.
Like I was a cross-country pilot. I like to go somewhere. And that, to me, that would be I'd want that kind of thing where I'd want to do a trip from Trenton back to Chattanooga or something.
Yeah.
That would be, or the dam back to Coolidge Park or something like that. That sounds awesome.
That's a good trip if the flow's not too heavy going from Coolidge up to the dam and then back.
Oh, wow.
Or if the flow is heavy, it's a good workout.
That's it. Wow.
That's a pretty, just riding my bike to the dam and back is like, I feel pretty accomplished when I do that.
Well, I put in one day at the dam, and I wanted to see how long I could stay put because it was hauling. It was really, and it was a lot of effort to just stay in place, pointing toward the dam because the current was really moving. So it was all I could do. I mean, for 20 minutes to just stay put. So it was a treadmill.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that sounds exhausting.
That's how it is right now.
It is, yeah. That's all. It's going to be so for the next few days.
Yeah,
it's going to rain again.
Well, if you just tuned in, you are listening to NoogaRadio Outdoors on 92.7 FM. I'm Cindy. I've got Randy, my co-host, here with me. Our guest is Lindsay Ford, and she is a very accomplished paddler.
Stand-up paddle boarder.
Because people call hang glider pilots hang gliders, and it's like, I'm a hang glider pilot. So you're not a paddle board, but you are listening to NoogaRadio Outdoors, and I want to bring it back around to wild trails because Randy, you were talking about you clearing this water path from Trenton back here, and that's a lot why you're the founder of wildtrails.org.
My wife and I, yeah.
Yes, and that's a lot why you started it, in order to maintain and to conserve our area, right?
Well, I mean, it started at dirt trails. I mean, I had no interest whatsoever in paddling. We had a 2-person kayak back then. It was fun, just to get out. But once I discovered stand-up paddleboarding, it changed wild trails too, because I knew that I wanted to get into that, and it's super passionate for me. I just love going all day long. I do a trip all the way across the state once a year, and it's my favorite week of the year. I mean, it's just an amazing trip. I hope more people would get into long distance paddling because it's just phenomenal. So there's unfortunately few people like Lindsay that get it, that really enjoy going. I mean, I guess it's not safe to say all day, but I mean, you like to go for hours and hours at an end at a time. So there's few people that get to that point. And I think once you do it once or twice, then you see this, it changes the way you paddle, because, you have to change the way you're doing it, because you can't bend your arms as easily, because you're going to wear them out. So you use more core and lower back, and you start bending over more, and then it becomes more of a full body exercise as opposed to kind of just using your arms.
That's what intrigues me, because it really does look like fun, and to get that full body, especially that core exercise, and to be in the water in the heat of the summer, it's very appealing as well.
Think about this. I mean, your core and your lower back are I mean, everybody says you've got to get stronger. I mean, no matter what sport you do, and it's the most unenjoyable thing to exercise. Nobody wants to do crunches and sit-ups, and
I've never been able to do it. I've always stayed active.
It's not fun, but you have to do it when you're paddling, and you don't even realize it. Then you wake up the next morning, it's like, man, my gut is really sore. So you don't even think about it. You're really getting a good core exercise, and you just do that for a summer, and you got. When will the water start warming up? You're pretty quick. No, not till it's a month maybe.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
Wow.
That's
the air's warm enough. Just fall in and get back out.
That's the main. If you're just starting, I mean, I feel like people get out there and they're scared to fall in. I think falling in even on purpose.
That's what I'll fall in right away just to get it over with.
That's the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
Just
awesome.
Get it over with. For sure.
Awesome. Well, we're about out of time. Thank you so much for joining us, Lindsay. I hope you'll come back sometime. And thank you, Randy, always for bringing such great guests.
My pleasure.
And another, Sam Jordan and I will be out at the Car Express tomorrow. Again, Mark Martin, a NASCAR driver, will be out there. So come by and see us tomorrow, 11 to 4, Car Express on 153. And join us next week for NoogaRadio on 92.7 FM. That's a wrap.
Traffic, news, and information. NoogaRadio. Digital FM 90.